Hey up people, it's Tom here and welcome to my first WWE 2K20 video. We've actually got some pretty swaggy gameplay in the background. I'm playing as Randy Orton and towards the end I do reverse a Trouble in Paradise into the RKO. So you probably want to wait for that one, but today we're talking about 10 new features we need in WWE 2K20. And we're not talking about any of that rubbish to do with GM mode. These are new things I've come up with on the spot, which would actually make it a pretty good game. The first thing we're going to start off with is number one, which is a cross-play community creations. This is one I came up with myself and I'm pretty impressed with it. I think I'm a bit of a genius for this one, but why do we have a PS4 community creations, an Xbox One community creations, a PC community creations, and I think they've even got a Nintendo Switch one nowadays? Why don't they just combine all of them into one, so we just have one database where if you're on PlayStation 4, you can download a creation somebody's made on PC. If you're on Xbox, you can download something somebody's made on PS4. Why is there three separate ones? It doesn't make sense. Like, sometimes I'm scrolling through Twitter and WWE Games have tweeted out this bloody fantastic Randy Orton with red shorts on like he is in the video, and then I go onto my PC community creations and he's not there and I realise, oh, he's actually on the Xbox One. Why don't we just have one system where everybody uploads to it and then you can use them? It would be fantastic. Alright, we're going to transition into number two by talking about the alternate attire situation. It's a bloody farce. You go on community creations, you see a fantastic Randy Orton in red pants, brilliant, I'll have a bit of that, you download it, and then you have to go all the way into edit superstars, click on him, say users alternate attire yes, and then you have to go back and check that it's actually worked. Why not, when you download Randy Orton, straight away, does it not just prompt you to say, do you want to use this as an alternate attire? Yes, please. I mean, who doesn't want to use it as an alternate attire? What else are you doing with this Randy Orton in red pants? Number three, ragdoll physics. Out of all the games in the entire universe, why isn't a wrestling game got ragdoll physics? Every time you hit a move in the game, whether you're using Andre the Giant to hit the move on, or you're using Kofi Kingston to hit the move on, he reacts the exact same way. Out of any game in the universe, a wrestling game should have ragdoll physics where different reactions happen to the same moves. We watch wrestling every week. Nobody takes the move the exact same way. Dolph Ziggler takes a move a lot better than a John Cena. But we're human. We have different reactions. When I hit a DDT, I want to actually look like I've hit a brutal DDT. They need to like flop around. They need to be pretty bloody hurt. We need different reactions to moves. We might not particularly get ragdoll physics, but if you hit a DDT, every opponent isn't going to sell the DDT the exact same way. Why do you have, like, for the most popular moves, why do you have 2 or maybe even 3 different reactions to those moves? It's definitely something they need to add on as the years go by, because they can't just do loads of different reactions for all the thousands of moves in the game. But some of the most popular ones, like the power bombs, you need to have multiple different reactions for different people. It only makes sense. A good example of a game that does have ragdoll physics, if you don't really know what it is GTA. When you get knocked out, you flop everywhere, you get a unique animation every time you're knocked out. We need that in a wrestling game. Surely you need that in a wrestling game. The next one is men versus women. Now, I think this is genuinely pretty realistic for this year's game. I mean, we've had it with Ronda Rousey. She took on Triple H at WrestleMania 34, and she was having a whale of a time. Nia Jax, not particularly as much, as she was getting RKO'd and 619'd all over the place at this year's Royal Rumble. But I think we genuinely should have men versus women in this game. It should be an option. It's a video game. Let us do some fantasy booking. What is the harm in that? It would be pretty fun. The next one is load times. This is a new feature that I think they need to improve on, is load times, because I play on PC and luckily I have an SSD, so it does make it very, very fast to load things. Still a little bit slow, but when I go over to PS4 or watch people play it on PS4 on Twitch, the loading times is ridiculous. I do not know a game with this much bad loading time, and all it's rendering is the same thing over and over again. It's just rendering the same arena. I genuinely don't understand why it takes you so long to go from the main menu to community creations or the main menu to edit superstars. It takes so bloody long. Out of anything in this year's game, the one thing you need to improve on is the load times, because they are ridiculous. Number 6, we need a proper weight detection system. How do we not have this already? I mean, there is a little bit of a one now where certain superstars like Kalisto, he can't lift Andre the Giant, but if you do like a flying move to Andre the Giant, or if you do his finisher, the Salida del Sol, he's still allowed to do it. Kane would still be able to chokeslam the Great Khali with ease. He would be able to chokeslam the Great Khali exactly the same way as he would be able to chokeslam the Callisto, and Cedric Alexander would have as much ease powerbombing the Undertaker as he would doing it to Hornswoggle. I mean, that's a bit cruel, mate, but you get my point. I do believe you should allow superstars to be able to do as many moves as they want, but they should at least, like, struggle to do them. It shouldn't be as easy. And genuinely, it makes the game a little bit boring where you're able to do like every move you're normally able to do against a big opponent. I mean, different animations for same moves would mix things up a little bit and make it a little bit more interesting. The next one is the one I'm most excited about, and it is weekly or monthly updates. I genuinely don't know why WWE have never implemented this into a game before, but it's one of the main reasons people switch off by Christmas when the new game comes out, because there's nothing new. Well, actually, the only thing that's new is like a £20 DLC, but apart from that, there's nothing new. Now, the WWE Games Twitter page, they're always retweeting some really good community creations, but why don't you release your own every so often? Like, if we've had a big pay-per-view like a WrestleMania, why don't you release a set of like 5 new official attires from your favourite superstars? Why don't they update stats depending on how well a wrestler is doing? Why don't they add moves or new finishes to moves that wrestlers have started doing? And by the time WWE 2K20 comes out, it's probably pretty updated now, so a live system like this where you get updates every few months would keep the game fresh and relevant to the current product, because I'm guessing right now WWE 2K20 probably won't even have the Hardcore Championship in it. Monthly updates would keep it fresh, people would keep coming back to test out the new attires and see what they look like, and it would make the game a little bit more relevant than it is, because right now it's not that relevant. Alright, next up we've got Add CM Punk. Nah, I'm just kidding. I'm not Sean's View Entertainment. Change the camera. We need this in the game. We only ever have one camera angle whilst you're playing 2K19. Why can't we have a bird's eye view? Why can't we have one like when you're playing the old Royal Rumble matches where it's looking down to the Titantron? Surely we should be able to customize the camera angles in 2019. I think FIFA has about 40 different camera angles, and you can customize how zoomed in it is, where it's placed. I think you can even track players with the camera nowadays. This is such a simple feature, but would genuinely change the game so much. Maybe you could have one of the camera angles as one of the cameramen, so it's actually moving as you're playing the game. Maybe you could have a camera angle through the eyes of the manager. It sounds strange, but surely you should be able to change some of the angles in the game. I'm genuinely really interested about number 9, making another difficulty. Now, if they don't add another difficulty, they definitely need to make all the difficulties harder, because I play on the hardest one, Legendary. I know, I'm a bit of a beast, and it's too easy. Like, it's got to a point where people are actually asking me not to play as a superstar in my universe mode because it's boring, because I always win. That's actually happened. They want to see the computer against the computer instead of Tom Cushney against the computer. It's too easy. Either you make the legend difficulty harder or make all the difficulties harder, because to me, easy, normal and harder, I think that's what they are. They're irrelevant. They're far too easy. I think FIFA 19 currently has about, is it like 6 or 7 difficulties? Don't we have 4 on WWE 2K19? They're all bloody easy. You either make these current ones harder or add like another tier on top of Legendary, because it is far too simple. I know you can tweak with the sliders, but built into the game there should be a difficulty that's actually difficult to defeat. That's the whole purpose of playing against the computer. And the last and final one is rework the start of a match. Now 2K were, to be fair to them, were onto something in 2K15. When you started a match, you started a little grapple mini game. At the time it came out, we thought, oh, this is bloody brilliant, this changes everything. And it got a little bit boring a few weeks into the game, because every match you had to do this, and it was pathetic. But you were onto something, because you genuinely need to update the start of matches, because right now I start every match the same. I just sprint to my opponent and tap the A button and we'll do a grapple, a running grapple. To be fair to them, they did add something in this year's game where some superstars randomly start with a finisher, which does mix things up, but that doesn't happen far too often. But why don't you add some scenarios that can happen at the start of the game? So I've wrote some down. At the start of some games, one superstar starts with a finisher. We've already got that one. At the start of another game, you have the option to shake your opponent's hand. You either shake it or you punch him in the face. Another one is you have an option to both walk to the middle of the ring, start talking smack to each other, and then you start brawling. Another one could be that you can trigger something where something starts playing on the Titantron, your opponent's like distracted for like 5 seconds or something. I mean, if it was me, I would only be distracted for 1 second. We're playing against the computer here. And then you get like 1 free shot. Now, these things don't have to happen every game, but if they happen randomly, it really does mix up the gameplay and makes you think, what's going to happen at the start of this match? How are we going to play it out? And particularly for people who play Universe mode, you can really start storylines just like that. I'm genuinely interested what you guys think we could add at the start of a match to make it a little bit more interesting. 2K15, they were onto something by trying to mix up the start of a game, but they took it out in the end, so it needs reworking. They need a system at the start of the match. Even add the handshake system. Just add that. Just something to start off the match that's interesting, because right now it's not great. Anyway, there are my 10 new features we need in WWE 2K19. Which was your favourite? Which is the one you're not really that much bothered about? And have you got any more? If we can get like 10 more, maybe I could do like another video on this. But anyway, people, thanks for watching. Subscribe. Randy Orton wins, of course he bloody does. Smash the likes, people. Take care. Spike, yeah.